Hey everybody, Dan with Pain Free You. Today's topic: what to do if you're unsure if this stuff can work for you. So, get a lot of questions, emails, comments, messages, group coaching. A lot of people are saying, I'm on the fence. I don't know what to do. Or I have this unique thing. Maybe it's autoimmune. Maybe it's something like MCAS. Maybe it is something else. And the doctors are a bit stumped and they're scratching their head and they're going, I don't know. Or maybe they do come up with a diagnosis. Or maybe you've got, a scope and they find some inflammation or they find something. And there's a lot of wiggle room where people go, I don't know. I don't know if this stuff applies. So what would I do if I were in a situation where I wasn't sure if something applied or not? Well, what I can say is this: there's no downside to remaining calm and teaching your brain to trust your body and that things are going to work out. Where's the downside in that? You're at minimum going to be mentally and emotionally in a much better place. You're going to get out of fight or flight because you're not freaking out over symptoms anymore, because you kind of trust that this human body knows how to take care of itself within reason. Of course, there's things we want to do to take care of it. Movement, proper diet. And when I say proper diet, I don't mean extreme, like fanatical stuff. I mean like eat the perimeter. Produce, meats, little dairy. The inner aisles where there's a box with 42 ingredients on the label, probably not real food if it came out of a machine. So that's not extreme. It's like eat food that's as close to its original form as possible. Meats, chicken, pork, dairy, produce, fruits, right? So that's what I mean by helping yourself. Go take a walk, those types of things. But look, if you're unsure if your symptoms can be helped with a mind-body approach, I will remind you of the various success stories, things like MCAS, things like vision problems, things like dry eyes, dry mouth, digestive issues. I don't know, I've got a gut imbalance. It's diagnosed. I don't know if this will help. All sorts of things. Autoimmune stuff. Sensitivities, chemical, food, light, noise sensitivities. And there's a lot of people that go, I just don't know. It's not pain, and I don't have back pain, so that's what Sarno wrote about. So does this apply to me? Inevitably, we can all benefit to some degree or another by getting out of the fight or flight, stressing less, fearing less, catastrophizing less, ruminating less about symptoms, and instead focus on safety. Calming the system, calming the thinking, calming the breath, calming the body. There's no downside to that. If somebody has a downside to treating yourself more kindly and trusting the body more, look, fueling it with proper nutrition, that's great. Cut the junk food, all that stuff. But really, where's the downside to conveying to yourself that you're going to be okay? Well, what if it doesn't work? Okay, maybe you'll be disappointed. But you're already disappointed and terrified. So let's get rid of the terrified part, because a terrified brain doesn't operate the human system very well. Being in the stress response is not an effective operating strategy, because all sorts of things go sideways when we're in the stress response consistently. It is a survival mode, not a daily living mode. So let's get you out of that. Let's trust that whatever symptoms you have going on will settle down at worst and could potentially go away completely. Like, at minimum, things are going to settle down. At minimum, you'll be in a better mental and emotional state. And getting out of stress, out of the fight or flight, while that may seem really difficult because you've been in that state for much of your life, it's doable. It's possible. Do it in increments. A little bit each day. Be a little bit less freaked out. a little bit less bothered by what's going on, a little bit more calm, a little bit more reassuring, a little bit more trusting that you're going to be okay. Move towards unbothered and indifference, but that's not a one-step journey. That's a gradual thing. So a little bit at a time. Move towards it. Calm your fears a little bit. Rely on the accurate knowledge that you're not sick, you're not broken. You have symptoms, but in the case of mind-body conditions, those symptoms are the downstream result of a brain perceiving danger. So if you're focused on symptom, you're at the bottom of the stream trying to fix something that's caused upstream. Let's focus on teaching the brain, folks. That's where the solution lies. So if you're unsure whether or not this approach will work for you, I can't make any guarantees. But what I can tell you is that you're going to be way better off implementing these things than you would be deciding in advance, it's not going to work, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to stay in fear. That is not a useful strategy. Trusting that you can make progress and move forward. And look, you may not know the whole journey to get you through this, but start with the first step. Begin. Trust that this, if it's working for other people, it can work for you. Mind-body conditions are a human experience. Nobody's exempt from them. Not even me. I just, a couple days ago, did a video about, an onset of knee pain, right? Ended up being TMS, gone in 3 or 4 days, and I'm feeling great. I'll be back on the golf course hopefully soon as I can schedule something. Nobody's exempt, but we can limit what symptoms become chronic, right? Symptoms are not the problem. The fear and attention we give to them is what turns them chronic or persistent. So if you're not sure if this stuff is going to work for you, begin anyway. Commit to it. At minimum, you're going to feel better mentally and emotionally. You will likely start to see some benefits physically, symptom-wise. That's when your belief grows, and then you can start going, wow, you know what? I'm starting to see benefits. I'm going to go all in. And you don't have to go 100% all in, but start today. Start moving forward. And if you've been doing it a while and you haven't had results, some people say, well, I've been doing this stuff for 2 years, no results, so it must not be TMS. That's not true. What if you've just still been perceiving danger at a high level for the past 2 years and you've been focused on fixing and focused on symptoms and then judging that it's not working yet and then getting more fear as a result of that? Let's hit the reset button. Start over with a focus on safety, not a focus on process or journaling or breath work or meditation. Those things are tools, but those tools cannot work without the foundational knowledge and belief that you're okay. These are mind-body conditions. And even things that are kind of a little bit questionable, decide that you can influence them for the better with this approach, because getting out of fight or flight, trusting, teaching safety can only benefit you, not harm you. So with that, going to wrap it up. Love you folks, and as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.